Welcome to the Restricted Handling Daily Intel Brief. This is what's been going on in China in the past 24 hours. The biggest story comes out of Singapore at the Shangri-La Dialogue. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth spent the weekend pressing Asian allies to step up. His message was clear. Washington can't carry the full burden anymore. Partners need to invest more in their own defense, and those who do will get faster access to arms, industrial collaboration, and intelligence sharing. Hegseth even set a benchmark, 3.5% of GDP on defense. For most regional powers, that's a big leap. Japan is inching toward 2%, Australia is around 2%, and the Philippines is still climbing. This is about sharing the cost of deterrence against a rising China while keeping the U.S. front and center. At the same time, Hegseth softened his tone toward Beijing. No fiery mentions of Taiwan or the South China Sea in his main speech. U.S.-China relations, he said, are better than they've been in years, pointing to Trump's recent summit with Xi. China's delegation, led by Major General Meng Xiangqing, countered with its own language, emphasizing constructive strategic stability and military-to-military coordination. Essentially, Washington told allies to spend more, Beijing told Washington to stabilize, and regional capitals are hedging in every direction. Japan took the stage for its own strategic messaging. Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi fired back at Beijing's claim that Japan is heading toward new militarism. His counter: Japan has no nuclear weapons, no strategic bombers, while China has a massive arsenal and is expanding capabilities without transparency. Japan's defense budget is over 9 trillion yen, and PM Sanae Takaichi has been actively pushing new capabilities, including surface-to-ship missiles, drones, and revising key security documents. Japan also relaxed rules on exporting lethal weapons, which opens up broader regional cooperation. The message is clear. Tokyo is serious about defense modernization, and Beijing's narrative won't stop it. Now let's look at Taiwan, where the pressure campaign is multi-layered. Beijing expelled New York Times reporter Vivian Wang after President Lai Ching-te appeared via video at a Times Dealbook summit, citing Beijing's so-called pretext for control. U.S. authorities responded by revoking a visa for a Xinhua journalist, adding a layer of tit-for-tat tension. Meanwhile, Taiwan's opposition leader, Kuomintang chairwoman Cheng Li-won, is in the U.S. this week. She recently met Xi in Beijing and is positioning herself as a bridge for dialogue, but critics say she's echoing Beijing's messaging, especially with her One China framing. Her party also scaled back a $40 billion arms package that included drones and domestically produced systems. The optics are sensitive because U.S. lawmakers are watching how Washington handles arms sales, which have already been paused on a $14 billion package, including Patriot upgrades and counter-drone systems. On the maritime front, the Philippines and Vietnam upgraded their ties, emphasizing that South China Sea peace is non-negotiable. They signed agreements covering defense, information sharing, technology, and even tourism. Both are asserting a rules-based order, referencing UNCLOS and the 2016 Arbitral Award, while coordinating in practice against regional pressures. China responded with law enforcement patrols east of Taiwan after Japan and the Philippines announced talks on maritime boundaries. Taiwan reported seeing 2 Chinese vessels near Orchid Island, rejecting Beijing's claims. Separately, PLA Southern Theater Command patrols around Huangyan Island featured multiple destroyers, frigates, bombers, and fighter aircraft. This is all part of a broader message. Beijing is demonstrating reach while testing regional responses. Taiwan's Coast Guard noted a long-term increase in Chinese incursions near the Pratas Islands, rising from occasional transits to more than 30 annually. Chinese vessels often switch off their AIS transponders to conceal movements, testing Taiwan's surveillance and response. Taiwan's armed forces responded with patrols, radio warnings, and observation. Even though this is a tactical detail, it's strategic in nature. It forces Taiwan to commit resources while signaling Beijing's persistent pressure and intelligence-gathering efforts. Shifting to the technology front, China rolled out new rules tightening control over outbound investment, talent transfers, and technology data flows. This comes after Beijing forced Meta to unwind its $2.5 billion acquisition of AI startup Manus. The State Council now has formal authority to review and block overseas transactions, restrict personnel transfers, and even punish foreign firms whose home countries restrict Chinese investment. This explicitly covers Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, sending a strong sovereignty signal while ensuring sensitive technology remains under Beijing's control. The U.S. moved to tighten the AI chip supply chain the same day. Commerce clarified that license requirements apply to advanced chips exported to Chinese entities, even if the company operates outside China. NVIDIA Blackwell processors, among the world's most sophisticated AI chips, may have reached subsidiaries in Malaysia and elsewhere. The new guidance doesn't force data centers to stop using the chips, but it closes a major loophole, ensuring that advanced AI capabilities can't bypass export control rules through offshore subsidiaries. And we can't ignore the symbolic theater of it all. Japan used the Shangri-La Dialogue to underscore its evolving role as a hub for regional security, while Trump's recent backing of Takaichi over Beijing's objections shows the U.S.-Japan alliance is solid. Beijing tried to test Washington by bringing up Japan's defense policies in a leaders-level conversation. And Trump's response, calling Takaichi excellent, effectively shut down the wedge attempt. It's a subtle but significant signal about U.S. commitment and credibility in the region. Finally, Japan and the U.S. are not just reacting. They are framing a broader strategic perimeter from the Taiwan Strait through the South China Sea, and even citing Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz as a point of shared concern. It's a reminder that regional defense today is not just about your next-door neighbor. It's about global trade, energy flows, and the credibility of alliances across oceans. Thanks for listening and helping build this community. If you'd like to support the show, leaving a comment or sharing the episode helps more people find it. And if you want to continue the conversation, we publish a daily intel brief on Substack at restrictedhandling.substack.com with deeper analysis on Russia, China, Iran, the Middle East, and the DPRK. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.